Absolutely phenomenal. Let's start this from the beginning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, CL King, coming to you live from the extremely high definition studios here in Impacting Life 24/7. Eva, what we say? Come on, let's go. Yeah, I got my I got my dancers in the background. I got Eva and McKeon and my girl Jazlyn McRavin. And you ask me, you say, CL, why are these young ladies on your show bobbing to that great music created by the one and only Maestro? Why? Because they're excited. They're life givers. They're people of destiny. All right, ladies, y'all can, I don't want to make you too uncomfortable. And so when we talk about destiny, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about our purpose in life, oftentimes people run to and fro. They scale mountains and they traverse valleys to try to figure out what their purpose is in life. And many times people get frustrated because they go into a workplace, they punch a clock, and then that's it. They do that for 40 years. They go home and they go into the nursing home. Their kids put them in the nursing home. They have served no real purpose in life. Okay, don't put y'all parents in nursing homes out there. But these two ladies that I have on my show tonight, Eva McKeon and Jazlyn McRavin, you guys know her, have really helped us understand what true destiny looks like. If you want to ever see what destiny looks like, just look at your screen tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because we have two ladies that are inextricably tethered by friendship, but they're also connected because of a body part that one had that the other one needed. Man, I'm telling you what, you're going to be blessed to hear the great story of these two young ladies. And I hope that by the time we're finished, you will say, hey, listen, I need to do more in my community. I need to do more for my friends. I need to wake up and stop sleeping and really get active. So welcome to the studios, my friends, Eva and Jazlyn. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Hello.
All right. They are full of energy, as you can see, and we've been spending some time. Go sit down, Samson. Samson's in the studio with us, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we'll keep Samson on camera, and he'll get to stay with me. But Jazlyn McRavin and Eva McKeon are two people that have recently together come into my life. Jazlyn has been on this show several times, and you heard about the What If mission that we were doing to help Greg put together a major campaign, and many others, the Without Limits Church and many others put together a campaign to help Jazlyn raise money for a kidney transplant. And there, without going, you have to go back and watch those episodes. But Jazlyn was facing some hurdles and some obstacles that she could not be in school, and she needed assistance to get this money raised for a kidney transplant. And when she came on the show, I was blown away, ladies and gentlemen. I was shook because I don't know what it's like to have to go to dialysis. I don't know what it's like to have your life completely altered. And Jazlyn was living there. And so, Jazlyn, tell us a little bit before we get into and introduce our friend Eva. Tell us a little bit about your diagnosis, what you had, and what you were going through.
Um, well, in 2015, 2014, I was diagnosed with lupus, and that was a whole struggle in itself, getting used to that at that age, taking medicines to suppress my immune system. But I got used to it, and then I went off to college, and my first couple of months there, I got pneumonia. So I came back home to New Bern, and the pneumonia is what, because my lupus was like in remission, it was like suppressed, so I wasn't having flare ups, but the pneumonia brought it out. and it started attacking my kidney. And they told me I would need a kidney transplant, but they didn't tell me that I would need it so soon, like in a couple of months. They just said maybe in a couple of years, but it had progressed so fast that I went to the hospital for a stomach ache and not feeling good. And it turned out I had kidney failure. And so, for since early 2020, from early 2020, like February to December 2021, I was on dialysis and I went 3 days a week because my kidneys stopped working. So they filtered my blood, hooked me up to a machine for 4 hours, and it would just filter my blood, take off fluid, and then afterwards I would go home. And at first, it was shocking because I just was in school, and then now I'm sitting in a chair for 4 hours, getting my blood cleaned and everything, and the swelling from fluid being trapped because my kidneys weren't working, to being really heavy, filled with fluid, and then just that whole change. But over the course of maybe a year, I stopped really gaining fluid. But me stop gaining fluid, they still had to take something off. So it's like kind of draining. I would be dry. I would feel like I needed to drink like a gallon of water, but I couldn't because that's extra fluid. But a
Yeah,
whole thing happened.
for living on dialysis there and having kidney failure, there is a strict regimen of how much actual fluid you can take in a day. Correct?
Correct. Um, so you can be thirsty, like if you're on dialysis and you're thirsty, but you've met how much fluid you can drink that day, it's recommended that you don't because then you'll come in overweight and it's just more work on your body to take that extra fluid off.
Right. So again, I'm joined in the studios by two amazing, phenomenal women, young ladies, Eva McKeon and Jazlyn McRavin. You guys know Jazlyn from her two appearances on Impact Life 24/7. It's not often, Jazlyn, that people get invited once, but then it's a rarity that they get invited twice. And now here you are for the third time, Jazlyn, to tell us this amazing story of friendship and love. So, Eva, you have been Jazlyn's friend for how long?
We've been friends for 16 years since I was 4 years old.
Since she was 4 years old. I know she only looks like she's 8, but she's a little older than that, ladies and gentlemen. And Eva, how did you guys become friends? Do you even remember?
Uh, yeah, her grandma lived in the house behind me, and I saw her out in the backyard playing basketball one day, and I went over to the fence and talked to her, and ever since then we've been friends.
And so this is 16 years of friendship. And you guys, I mean, you live in the same city, obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
And so did y'all wind up going to the same schools and all that kind of stuff?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so here you are, you see this young lady, and through time, she developed some medical concerns and medical challenges that were very, very difficult for her. But when did you become aware that Jaslyn's situation was pretty serious?
Well, I knew pretty early on that she had some medical problems that she didn't even wasn't even diagnosed at that point and didn't know really what was going on. But I think it got really serious around when her kidney failed finally, like in around 2020, the beginning of it. That's when my eyes really opened.
Hmm. Jaslyn, had you found, if I recall, because as you remember, Jaslyn, I have hundreds of people on this show every year, so it's tough from time to time for me to remember everything. But had you found a donor and something fell through?
I did. Um, I believe when I told Eva that I had kidney failure and that I was looking for donors, I believe she was the first one to call, but they didn't want to go with her because she's so young.
Hmm.
Um, but I had a doctor, um, a person that my mom works with. His wife is a ER doctor, and she called and went through testing and everything. But it found out that one of her kidneys was like working harder than the other, so it wasn't a like 50-50 like working. So she couldn't donate one to give to me because that wouldn't really make sense. So I found that out. I think 20 the winter of 2020. I think around there.
So, Jazlyn, again, those of you tuning in to Impact Life 24/7, I'm joined by two amazing young ladies, Eva McKeon and Jazlyn McRavin. You guys both have an MC in your last name. How cool is that? Um, when you first got the news, Jazlyn, that you had a potential kidney donor, did you get excited?
I did.
Yeah, because I mean, like, okay, this could mean a potential life change for you. And tell me about your emotions, your feelings that happened after you found out that this person wasn't compatible.
Um, I actually went into a really I actually went into a really deep depression. And I was already depressed, but knowing that someone was getting tested kind of gave me the motivation to keep going. Like, oh, I had to go to dialysis this day, but who knows, I might get the call that day, the next day. Um, so it gave me motivation, but when I found out they weren't a match, I really went into a deep depression. It was hard for me to get up and go to dialysis. It was like I didn't want to. Um, and I was like, well, this is my life for the next few years until I can, like, my name comes up on the list. Um, so that's how it was. That's how I felt.
Yeah, and so Eva did. I know the initial conversations with you about donating a kidney or potentially being a donor was kind of put on the back burner because you were so young. Well, when did things turn around and you know things looking the positive for you maybe being a potential donor?
So the whole time in the background that the other donor was being tested, I was at the same time. Uh, so I wasn't the first choice, but I was there as a backup. Um, and it took a really long time for them to accept me, I guess, as like the primary donor. But after she wasn't able to, I think I got pushed back up higher on the list. So
So tell me about this. Okay, how old are you, Eva?
I'm 20.
Okay, so this happened a couple years ago, right?
Mhm.
A year and a half ago, 2 years, and so here you are with your best friend. I've got some really good friends. I mean, I've got some great friends. In fact, I got a couple best friends. But when you start talking about something that augments and changes your physiology and your body structure and et cetera, how you function, I mean, were you wrestling with this decision, or how did you come to the decision that you were going to put your name on the list to donate your kidney to Jazlyn? How did that work?
Well, I felt like it had already kind of been on my mind even before I knew that she had kidney failure.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I knew like the possibilities of what could happen with her disease and things like that. So I'd already been thinking about it for probably a year before I needed to. And at
Mm-hmm.
that point, I had already kind of just decided if I can, I will. Um, so once I had that sort of like impulse of a decision, it was the more information that I got, the scarier it was, and the more I wrestled with it. But I ended up like being led by that feeling and that impulse the entire way. So my mind never changed.
So you had scientific information that said, "Hey, look, there could be some risks." Is that what
Yes.
put some concern in your mind?
Yes, for sure. But all of like the good possibilities and outcomes kind of outweighed the bad, and I was able to realize that it was the better decision for me.
You notice what she said, ladies and gentlemen. She said it was the better decision for her to give to somebody else. We oftentimes think about what's in our best interest. Now, I'm telling you what, this story has really gripped me and magnetized me relative to others. And what you said, Eva, is you said, you know what, it would be in my best interest to give my kidney to my friend. Now, I know some people are in the grocery store line, and if somebody's a little short and they're up there fumbling around with their change, hey, look, I'll give you $2.50 to get you on down the road so I can get through the line. But don't ask me to give you a kidney. And here it is, Eva, that you said, you know what? I understand the risks, but I also understand the reward. And my friend is in need. Now here's two young ladies. You're how old, Jazlyn? You just turned 21, right?
No, I just turned 22.
Oh, you're still a baby. And how old are you now, Eva?
I'm 20.
Okay, so both of them are just little kids, right? But they're 20-year-old people. And the truth of the matter is that their friendship supplanted every risk. It rejected every notion that it could fail. And so, did you know, Jazlyn, that Eva was working in the background to get her kidney compatible with you?
I didn't know she was getting tested at the same time as the other donor. Um, I didn't know that, but think I think the coordinator called me and told me that someone else was being tested. And when they said someone else, then I knew it was Eva. Eva told me that she was being tested. And then she would tell me like when she had appointments and everything. And so there were times where I definitely wanted to give up, but my mom would be like, "What about Eva? Eva's being tested." And so Eva doesn't know, but uh, through the last few months before transplant, he was really my motivation to keep going, because if I didn't have Eva, or like the thought of I have friends here and everything, I would have given up. It was a lot. It was a lot to handle.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Impacting Life 24/7 is all about. We say, Eva, we say that our goal here in this massive institution that I run, we say that our mission is to impact one life one day at a time. And Eva, your decision to impact one life actually will impact an entire generation. You know that, Eva?
It's good to hear. No, I knew I had an impact on Jazlyn, and that was really important to me personally.
Well, when Jazlyn has kids one day, those kids will be as a result of Eva McKeon's decision to give life to a person in need. And Jazlyn, here you are, all this time later. You still crazy and buck wild. I seen you on your birthday. You don't think Uncle King wasn't watching? I'm teasing. But so now tell us how life has changed for you, Jazlyn.
Well, now I don't feel sick every day. I don't wake up nauseous. I'm actually able to eat meals throughout the day. Um, I'm able to just get up and go. Uh, like even the little things that like it would probably annoy some people to pick up their younger sibling from carpool and wait in the carpool line for like almost an hour, but I was able to pick up my sister from carpool. We would go get lunch and everything afterwards. Just the simple things. I was finally able to go to the beach. Eva and I and a couple of friends, we went to the beach for my birthday, and I got to go the week before with my sister and actually be able to get in the water because I had the catheter in my chest, but now I don't. Um, so it's like I get to look back at those scars right here on my chest and the scar where my kidney, well, Eva's kidney got transplanted, And like I'm thankful for everything, just to be able to do the little things, even move around my room. It's just I'm thankful.
Well, you can look on Jazlyn's face, ladies and gentlemen, and see that she's thankful. And you can look on Eva's face and tell that she's thankful that she was able to be a vessel, a giver. And I don't know if I've had one other story like this on the show. And it really, both times, this occurrence and that occurrence has really kind of left me kind of shook. Because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Okay? Look at it. Y'all just close your ears because CL about to go into CL mode. Look at the screen. You got a young African American girl and a young white girl. Right? I'm gonna let it be crickets for y'all for a minute. The last two people that I had on this show that this scenario happened was a young African American man and a middle-aged white woman. What does that tell you, Eva? What does that tell you, Jazlyn? That there are still amazing people in this world that don't care about what your color is, that don't care about what your pedigree is, don't care about what your background is. They care about you. You know, that's what I know about Uncle Greg, Jazlyn. Have you met Greg, Eva? Greg is my vice president of my company. Yeah, Greg is an amazing human being. But Greg is like this. I get judged by how many people listen and view my show, how many speeches I get to give, how many books I'm going to sell here shortly with my book. I'm judged by all these metrics of output, right? Because I'm a content creator. But you know what? Greg Smith, he could care less if I do any of that. He is for me. And Eva is for Jazlyn. Nothing else. And these two young ladies have showed us what is still so amazing and so good about this country. And Eva, you are a genuine soul, and we're blessed just to be in the same virtual room with you. So what does the future look like for Miss Eva McKeon? What do you got plans and what do you got going on right now?
Well, my futures hasn't changed. Any of this hasn't really like affected me in my life, so I'm able and blessed to have like my health and everything. So I'm going back to school in August and hopefully finish that and go into the film industry.
She's gonna go in the film industry, and then she's gonna come and help me on the side, help me edit some of my podcasts. Huh, Eva? Would you give a brother a helping hand every now and then?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sister, because it's quite the operation. I do it live, and the reason why I do it live is so that way I don't have to stay up all hours of the night editing. So most of what I capture in the live environment, I just kind of tweak a little bit, then I got it uploaded. But that's really cool. What are your favorite type of films?
Ooh, I really like drama films. I've got some movie posters up behind me.
Okay, awesome. And so for those of you just tuning in, I got Jazlyn McRavin, who's been on our show. This is now her third time, and Eva McKeon, her first time, hopefully not her last time. These two young ladies have been best friends for 16 years. They're young, and so since they were 4 years old, they've been best friends. Jazlyn had a debilitating kidney condition precipitated by lupus, and she was in need of a kidney transplant. She was on dialysis at such a young age, man. She was on dialysis every other day and had to monitor her intake, fluid, etc. And she had found a donor, she thought, and that donor fell through. Well, while that donor was falling through, in the background, Eva was standing tall. And Eva went and got tested and found out that she was compatible to Jazlyn. And Eva said, you know what? I was a little scared by the facts, but I wasn't scared by the results. And she knew that her friend needed her, and she was willing to give it all for her friend. Jazlyn, Tell us what your future looks like, what you got going on in the future, upcoming in 2023. What's your plans?
2023, August, I plan on going back to UNCW, or I might go to UNC Chapel Hill just to be closer to the medical field and
Mhm.
working on clinical research and studying diseases and hopefully just living my life. Hopefully in a apartment, depending on how rent will be.
Doing your thing, right? Just doing
Yeah.
what young people do. And listen, when you listen, Eva, you need to go tell your chancellor or whoever's in charge of your campus. What school do you go to?
I go to the School of the Arts.
Tell them that they need to have CL King come speak at at that college. Okay, so tell
Okay.
them, go tell them tomorrow. Say you got to have this dude on this campus because he is the impact motivator. That's exactly what I am. It's right.
Sure.
Says it right there, the impact motivator. But really, Eva, you're much more of an impact motivator than I am because you didn't just talk it, you lived it. And we got a lot of people out there uh, who talk a good game, but when the rubber meets the road, it's like, here's the deal. Here's the deal, Eva. Have you ever heard this, Jazlyn and Eva? Have you ever heard this? If you need anything, just call me. You guys ever heard that before?
Yes.
You heard it before,
Yes.
right, Jazlyn? That's why Jazlyn laughing, right? If you need anything at all, just let me know, right? You've heard that, right?
Yes.
And then when you go to cash that check, ain't no money in the account, is it? Am I telling the truth, Jazlyn? Am I telling the truth, sister?
Yes.
Eva, I'm talking truth, right, sister?
True.
Yeah. And so here's Eva. She looks at this need. This is what I'm saying. Need doesn't know a season. Need doesn't know a color. Need doesn't know a budget. Need just knows that it needs to be filled. And Eva said, my friend needs me, and I don't care what it costs. I'm going to be there for her. That's powerful. So I'm going to ask you two ladies before we run up out of here and run out of time. See how I told you how fast 30 minutes goes, Jazlyn?
Yes.
It's smoking fast, ain't it?
Yes.
Before we go, I want you guys to do something for me because it people hear me talk all the time, and I'm probably convinced, Jazlyn and Eva, that some folks are tired of me talking. They don't want to hear me talking no more. But I want you two ladies to take from your perspective this question I'm going to ask each of you, which is a little bit different. So, Eva, there is a person out there that has listened to this podcast. They'll listen to it later because our podcast is carried on 27 different platforms. It's downloaded in 46 states and over 30 countries around the world. So somebody somewhere going to hear it, Eva. But they're going to be listening and they're going to say, man, I'm in a similar situation as Eva where somebody I know and care about really needs me. It may not be a kidney transplant. It may be something else. And they're on the fence. They're struggling with making that decision to follow through and help them. I want you to speak to that person specifically, Eva, and I want you to give them a word of encouragement and how you overcame it and how they can too. The floor is yours. Go, Eva.
Okay. I would say the best thing you can do is try. And it's that effort that matters. And even if things don't work out, you did all that you could to help your friend or help somebody. And that's what matters.
That's right. Try. TRY. You know what? It's so much. Get up off a top dead center and move. Jazlyn, there's somebody out there who's feeling like they're pretty much at the end of their rope. Kind of like how you were feeling, sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like there's not going to be an answer and nobody cares. But you didn't give up, Jazlyn. Sometimes it's just about what's in our mind. There's somebody out there that will listen to this podcast 2 or 3 hours from now, and they feel like they're in your situation. I want you to speak to them and give them a word of encouragement. The floor is yours.
You may feel like people don't care. You may feel like this is it. This is the end. But people do care. They may not tell you. They may not show it, or they may show it and you just don't you don't receive it, you don't see it. But there are people who care, and that if you feel like you're at the end, that you want to give up, and it won't change their life, it won't impact them, it'll only impact you, it will impact them. And that you may be at your worst right now, but better things are to come. There's more to come. You don't know what will happen. And if you just stick it out, then you'll realize that everything's going to be okay.
Boy, Jazlyn, I think you should be a counselor because you got such a calm demeanor, and the way you said that was just very, very impactful, very, very, very mature for a young 22-year-old. Because it's easy. What the hardest job is to not quit. The easiest part of the journey is to quit. I want you to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I told this to my son who plays in the Army band today. Think of your present state as your present state. Think about it. I want you, Jazlyn, I want you, Eva, to think about your present state as your present state. Change the word. The present state obviously means, here and now. But then the second part of the present state, think of here and now as a gift, as a present. Even when it don't look good. I seen you, Eva. Even when it doesn't look good, even when it doesn't look like it's all put together, think of it as it's wrapped in a crystallized bow just for you. Your present state is your present state. Ladies, you guys have been so awesome, and look forward to having you guys back. Maybe we'll have you guys back in 6 months or so just to see if you guys have grown up any and look older than 12. But I am so thankful, Eva, for you taking time out of your schedule. I hope that you make it big and on the silver screen when you're finished with college. And Jazlyn, I know that you're going to do some phenomenal things in research and development, and you're going to be able to also inspire so many more people with your story. So, ladies, thank you so much for being a part of Impacting Life 24/7 tonight, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. You can let yourself out of the room if you know how to do that.
Okay.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for us tonight on Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. Wow, what a story. Two amazing young ladies, two different walks of life, two different backgrounds, yet they're connected forever because of the sacrifice of one. One had a need, one was required to sacrifice. And when those two come together, it's a remarkable thing. Jazlyn McRavin, so happy, man. Just look how full of life she is, y'all. I mean, she's full of life. And I was brokenhearted last time she was on the show, ladies and gentlemen, because going to dialysis and, it augments your life. You can't go out of town. You can't go on vacation. You can, but you got to find a dialysis station if you're going to be gone longer than, a day or so. And she kept her attitude. And I'm going to reach out to my friend, Chris DT Gordon, because she talked about, which I would like for Chris maybe to have her on his show. She talked about the scars of her ports, and she's now able to get into the ocean. Now that's really powerful. And Chris DT Gordon, who is my friend and fellow podcaster, fellow motivational speaker, he has a show called Scar Bearers, and I think maybe this might be a good fit for you, Chris. When you look at this, just check it out, and if it works for you, just let me know. We'll hook you up with Jazlyn. And what a great story. She's got scars that were caused by necessity to keep her alive. And Chris, you got scars too that were caused by necessity to keep you alive, brother. And so I just feel like, man, that just like I said, just like the picture showed, a black girl and a white girl brought together by a need of red. Woo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it for us for Impacting Life 24/7. I'm going to close this down, upload this to our many platforms, and then I'm going to get back to writing, finishing up the second to last chapter in the book, and just continue to plug that. Our goal is to still be done with the manuscript by 7/24/2022. All right. So until next time, thank you, Greg, for getting this show secured for us. And thank you for all of our sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor, this is how programming like this comes to you. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes. So if you'd like to become a sponsor, just go to clkingspeaker.com. Until next time, have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Try to stay dry, try to stay safe, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King.